Hit the music.
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, and today we are going to go over predictions of the AEW Revolution pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. And of course, there's a lot of people, and I mean a lot of wrestling fans right now that do podcasts who are doing the same thing. Now you're wondering, well, look, another podcast is predicting. Well, when it comes to me, I'll say it like it is. I am not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to get straight to the topics and things that I don't like when it comes to either the pay-per-view or why this person is in this match. And that's what I'm going to give you today is the AEW Revolution 2023 prediction. Now, this is, of course, this match event is coming from the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. Now, when it comes to the pay-per-views in AEW, there's always a surprise. Either someone that's been a free agent for a while and shows up, or who knows. Now, we all know this since the beginning of the year. Everybody's been talking about Sasha Banks, a.k.a. now Mercedes Moné. Okay? And I said it a couple of weeks ago. I said if she doesn't show up at AEW by the week of February 18, which was the Battle of the Valley, okay, and then she is not coming to AEW. Even though she is the IWGP Women's World Champion, I said that. Also, I also mentioned that one of my predictions was, well, Jay White may show up at AEW Revolution. But after what happened at Battle of the Valley, with him losing to Eddie Kingston, now it looks like he may not go to AEW. He may go to WWE. But after what we saw yesterday there, he almost caught me out there, sucking me into doing pretty much a podcast talking about him leaving AEW. He shows up at Ring of Honor. He already has shown up at Ring of Honor because the Ring of Honor show they gave yesterday was already pre-taped. So he's going on to challenge Claudio for the Ring of Honor World title, which will most likely be by the end of this month, with him wrestling Claudio for the Ring of Honor World title at probably Supercard of Honor. Now, speaking about that, those are the two predictions I give. But now with Eddie Kingston no longer in AEW, that's a possibility Jay White may show up. Who knows? Never know. He is the catalyst of professional wrestling, but there's been a lot of things possibilities that may not happen either. But I'm going to give you my prediction on some of these matches. And of course, this is going to happen on Sunday. The first match I'm going to talk about is the Elite versus House of Black. Now, in reality, when this AEW Trios titles were in the tournament, when they made the tournament for these titles, originally, I thought the House of Black was going to win those belts. For the simple fact that I said to myself, well, you know what? These guys are the best tag team so far. They're the best tag team. And I felt that, you know what? They should be winning these belts no matter what. And it didn't happen. Instead, they gave it to the Elite. The Elite ends up winning the tag team belts and whatnot, and the six-man tag team belts, only to then get stripped of the belts so they could give it to Death Triangle. And then we had in the month of December and January, we have this best of 7, which everybody was complaining about. Oh, I'm not gonna watch this. It's gonna be garbage. And those seven matches were what I expected. But now the House of Black are getting the shot at the Trios 6-man title. I see them winning this belt, and these belts. If they don't win, then I don't know what Tony Khan is doing, because you're not gonna have House of Black now separate and go at the singles title. It doesn't make no sense. The whole point of them being together is for them to win the 6-man titles, or the Trios titles, you want to call them. Okay, the Elite, the reason I believe they're gonna lose those belts, one, okay, the Young Bucks are still gonna be in the tag team division. Second of all, there's another possibility that we could see Kota Ibushi showed up at AEW on Sunday and be part of the Golden Lovers with Kenny Omega. There's a possibility of that. Even though people say, "Oh, but Kenny Omega's going to WWE," well, his contract extended for another 9 months, and plus he's a United States IWGP champion. He's not going nowhere no time soon. Okay, so apparently we could see Ibushi and Kenny Omega teaming up, and that's what I see the Elite losing those 6-man belts to the House of Black. The House of Black, new trios tag team champions. I see that happening. Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy. This storyline has been a long storyline, which, you know what I'm saying, long-term booking. And this match between Christian and Jungle Boy, I don't know if it's going to end or it's going to continue on, because this has been going on back and forth. And Christian is taking it to the level where it's become personal, where he has talked about Jack Perry's father and whatnot in his promos. But the way they did this past Wednesday with the promo with Jack Perry crying and then digging a grave, this could be the end of this feud between Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. I see Christian Cage losing to Jungle Boy on Sunday. That could happen. Also, so we're gonna have now we're gonna talk about this match, which I find this match kind of comedic. You got the Acclaim, the former AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Guns, World Tag Team Champions. Then you have Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and then they added Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. This was whoever came up with this idea, don't know what's wrong with them. Because why would you put Orange Cassidy and Danhausen? With all those tag teams they were in the tag team Casino Royale, you could have had Aussie Open be part of that. Instead, they pretty much shit in Aussie Open for the second week in a row and whatnot. And instead, you put Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, who are not a tag team, into this 4-way. Because now you want to put Danhausen in the middle of something when you've been ignoring Danhausen for over 2 years and you haven't put him in a match. Okay? And he's been feuding with Jay Lethal and his goons. I don't understand it. At this, I mean, I could only see the Gun Club coming out with that. I don't see Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal winning the belts, and I definitely don't want to see is Orange Cassidy and Danhausen winning the tag team titles, because then you are going to be shitting all over those tag belts. Tony Khan will be doing a Vince McMahon move. Yes, I said it. A Vince McMahon move. Okay? But I don't understand why you got Danhausen and who else was it? And Orange Cassidy in this tag team. When you had Aussie Open, you have the Lucha Bros. You could even put, if you were gonna do that, you could have put Butcher and the Blade in it. Okay? Which makes no sense. Or you could have put Daivari and Josh Woods if that was the case. But instead, you put Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. Now, don't mind me making like I don't like these guys. I do like these guys, Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. But what I don't like them is teaming up and being nowhere near a tag team title shot. It doesn't make no sense. I still see the Gun Club, Billy Gunn's sons, winning that match some way or somehow. I don't know. Now, the Jamie Hayter versus Ruby Soho and Saraya, the AEW Women's World Title match, that is going to be very, very interesting. This is the part where we may see a turn coming for Ruby Soho. You could see Ruby Soho becoming the Women's World Champion come this Sunday, for the simple fact she hasn't been picking a side for the last couple of weeks. Saraya is part of this. Jamie Hayter, who is the Women's World Champion, is part of this. We could see Ruby Soho become the Women's World Champion. We could see Toni Storm helping Ruby Soho become the World Champion. Saraya may not win the belt. I mean, she could be like the leader or something, which I doubt it. Or Ruby Soho could be the leader. Think about it. this was an interesting situation, and I mentioned this on my podcast this past week on my audio podcast when I said my friend Mike mentioned about Ruby Soho likes to wear green stuff all the time. Green hair, green lipstick, green gear. She's always wearing green. What does Saraya and Tony Storm do? They spray a green spray and put L for losers on the opponents. We could be seeing a double cross, and not even a double cross, a turn heel by Ruby Soho, and it could happen because this is a setup for something much bigger. We could be seeing the originals. Like I said, we could have Willow Nightingale teaming up with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. We could see Thunder Rosa should be coming back soon. We could see that happening. You know what I'm saying? And go on, and they could bring somebody, an outsider, maybe like I said. I mean, Mercedes Moné would be a perfect fit in this whole originals against outsiders. It would be perfect. It would be a perfect situation. I have Ruby Soho winning the women's title, turning on Jamie Hayter and aligning herself with Toni Storm and Saraya. I could see that happening, which my boy Mike made a good point. And I mean, that's something I haven't thought about, but who knows? Here looks like, I believe, the Ricky Starks. I noticed that the Ricky Starks in, wow, it's not on this list, but no, it is. I'm sorry, I skipped it. Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. I skipped it. And I'm going according to the cards. I kind of skipped it, and how you call it? Because it's damn small, I can't see. But Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. Somebody made a good point and whatnot, and it's coming from Ring Fanatic. Shout out to those guys. They made a point there. They say they'll think that Action Andretti may turn on Ricky Starks, being that the Jericho Association can be on ringside. Okay, so Action Andretti actually becoming a JAS member, I could see it. For the simple fact that Jericho has not asked for another match against him, which makes a lot of sense. He beat him. Supposedly, behind the scene, Chris Jericho really liked Action Andretti. This is the reason why he let Andretti beat him. He dropped to him in the beginning of the year. So we could see Action Andretti becoming a member of JS, and then we could be seeing also Daniel Garcia as weeks go by may not be the part of the JS, because you're not going to keep putting all these young guys in the mix. There's going to be egos are going to explode. So who knows? We could be seeing that happening. But it's a very interesting situation. I never thought about that, about Action Andretti turning on Ricky Starks, being that no member from JS is allowed to win, actually not to win, to be in ringside. And already Ricky Starks has beaten Jericho. I believe he has beaten him twice, one in a regular match and a singles match and a tag team match. So we could be seeing that happening. I mean, that's a very interesting situation. Shout out to Ring Fanatics for that, observation. So that never even crossed my mind. So Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. I see Samoa Joe winning this match. Wardlow will be holding on to that TNT title, and still will be king of TV. And the reason I say that, because now it's going to be a very interesting story. He's going to finish up beating Wardlow. Wardlow is going to go on probably to other and bigger things, I guess, or maybe to the world title scene. Never know. It would be perfect because, remember, he beat MJF, and I believe was last year Double or Nothing and whatnot, and cleanly. So now that MJF is still the champion, we could see Wardlow go after him if MJF gets past Bryan Danielson. Wardlow will be losing this match to Samoa Joe. Some way or somehow, something's gonna happen, and either he's gonna Samoa Joe. I don't really see Samoa Joe cheating like that. I think Samoa Joe will beat him in this match, and he'll hold on to that TNT title to go on and face Powerhouse Hobbs, which will be a great match between these two big boys. And I definitely looking forward to that. So, John Moxley versus Adam Page, a Texas death match. This is going to be another bloody fight between these two guys. It's nothing that we haven't seen yet. I don't know what levels to extreme these guys are going to take it to. I probably may see Adam Page beating John Moxley on this one. I mean, Moxley beat him once already. Actually, Moxley beat him twice. So they could go even and leave it like that. Never know. But I could see Moxley losing to Adam Page, and then probably either if he doesn't lose, maybe BCC is going to get involved, which will bring in a Dark Order. All hell's going to break loose on this match. It could go either way. That's going to be a hardcore. I'm going with Adam Page on that one. The fact that Adam Page is the younger guy here, and he's the guy who be the future of the company. So I'll go with Adam Page on this one. So then we have the main event, which I saw people complaining, talking about not much has been built between MJF and Bryan Danielson. I responded to that. What the hell else do you want? The man was put through matches. First, he had a match with Konosuke Takeshita, and then he had a match with Timothy Thatcher, who nearly broke his arm off his shoulder. Then he had a match with Brian Cage. Actually, he had Brian Cage, then he had Timothy Thatcher. Then he had a match with Roosh and whatnot. So, and then on top of that, he was attacked probably a couple of times by MJF. How much build-up do you want? This is perfect. And then to top it off, 2 weeks ago and whatnot, MJF crossed the line and was talking about Bryan Danielson's family, which he cut that promo about his fiance that broke up with him, which was a true story. He used it in his promo. And he talked about Bryan Danielson's family, which led off to these guys going at it in the ring. At one point, you saw Bryan Danielson forearm MJF so hard that he dropped him. He knocked him. And MJF the camera man took his lens away from MJF because he was knocked out. Because Danielson hit him with a forearm and dropped his ass. Okay? And then this week, he had the same thing, which he told him, I'm going to get you and I'm going to kick your effing head off. So this is going to be a very interesting match because I could see Bryan Danielson probably making MJF do certain, probably beating the bricks out of him. He might get the first fall, or he may lose the first fall. And how you call it? Probably Bryan Danielson might lose the fall probably because MJF doesn't care. He'll do something to get disqualified. Then he'll get the pin because he's going to be working on the arm. And then the last part, who knows? Anything could go. Anything could go. And Bryan Danielson has had already an Iron Man match with Adam Page. I think he had one with Adam Page, and I think he had it with somebody else, and I forgot who it was. I think it was Sami. I'm not sure. I think he has had Iron Man matches, and he has had good Iron Man matches. MJF, on the other hand, I don't think if he's gonna be how you call it. He's never been in an Iron Man match, but have you seen MJF lately? That man has been cut up, shredded. So he's getting ready for this match because it's going to be an hour. Now, who do I see winning this? Most likely, MJF is going to win that. I don't see Bryan Danielson winning this match. I can't really tell you why, where it was going to happen, but I could see it has to do with the shoulder. Something's going to happen where MJF is going to lose the match because of that shoulder. And that shoulder has been worked on the last couple of weeks, and the whole setup, everything has been perfect. So, like I said, I don't know what all these people want as far as storylines concerned, because this is perfect. This is perfect. You can't ask for nothing better than this. Bryan Danielson versus MJF in an Iron Man match, where MJF has taken every shortcut that he can not to wrestle with Bryan Danielson. And, I mean, he hired Les Thatcher. He paid Bruce lots of money. He asked Brian. He slapped Brian Cage and then gave him money and had Brian Cage, grab that chair and throw Bryan Danielson with the chair wrapped on his shoulder against the pole. I mean, what else do you want? It's a perfect storyline. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Revolution is going to be very interesting. Like, again, the only match that I probably, out of all those matches, the one match that I don't care for is the tag team. The 4-way tag team. I don't care because of look who's involved. You got the Acclaim. Acclaim, good team, whatever. They're very popular. But, after a while, I just get bored very easily and whatnot with that. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, come on. Those guys are a joke. The fact that Billy Gunn's sons, Colton and Austin, are the tag team champion, to me is a joke. You know what I'm saying? And if they hold on to those belts, you could best believe that who is coming back is FTR. A lot of people talking about the FTR is going to WWE. They're not going to WWE because they're going to come back before April. You think Tony Khan is going to be that stupid not to sign them for another 3 years or 4 years? He's going to give them all the money they want. Okay? And we can see it happening. So that part, I can see that happening. I mean, the team of Danhausen and Orange Cassidy put in this, and in reality, it's not their fault. They just put them in there when they got there. Where I could have put Aussie Open in there. You could have had the Lucha Bros in there. You could even have the Young Bucks in there, in that whole scenario. But no, they got a bunch of comedy going on there, which is I don't understand that one. And this is the thing that I talk about with Tony Khan. Tony Khan, I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea, but this is where he get criticized because sometimes he makes sense and sometimes he don't make sense. So at this sense, this part of this 4-way tag team doesn't make no sense to put in Orange Cassidy and Danhausen in a 4-way when you got a tag team division. That makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? The Jamie Hayter, Saraya, and Soho is going to be very interesting. I'll tell you right now, keep an eye on that match. And also keep an eye on the surprises. Like, again, you can have Jay White show up. Yeah, Eddie Kingston left AEW, the Ring of Honor. And the one thing I said that Jay White may not show up was because, come on, Eddie Kingston beat him at New Japan, Battle of the Valley, and kicked him out of New Japan. And he goes to Ring of Honor, and now Jay White could come in. I'm hoping that happens because I don't want Jay White in WWE. I'm going to keep it honest. Don't want him in WWE. And Mercedes Moné could come in and be part of this whole, 3-way between the girls. There's a lot of possibilities. You could have, again, Kota Ibushi show up at AEW Revolution. There's a lot of speculation. These pay-per-views, there's always surprises. And Tony Khan sometimes keeps one inside his pocket and surprises everybody. So we'll see what happens. Again, thank you for listening to the podcast this week. Again, you guys can follow me on any social media platform. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I know it's a little long, but again, this is the prediction for AEW Revolution 2023 coming from the Chase Center in California, San Francisco, California at that. So those are my predictions. If you think I'm wrong, you think you have other others opinions, you're allowed to comment on it. Give me your thoughts, your comments on this. Again, you can also follow my merchandise store, which is tcwr.veryinkpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryinkpressive.com. You go to my Twitter account, you can actually click it. It's pinned there. As soon as you open my page, you click it, check out the website. You got hats, you got t-shirts, you got sweaters, and you got hoodies in there. I know winter's almost over, but get yours for quick and whatnot. So check that out. Also check out my audio podcast. The audio podcast, I drop every episode every Sunday. Check it out. You're available at any audio podcast platform, including Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Popbean, any other audio podcast that you guys like to listen to your favorite show. So tell a friend about the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Let them know what I'm all about. I tell you right now, I am not sugarcoating nothing this year when it comes to me giving my thoughts and opinions on certain brands and certain promotions. It doesn't matter if it's AEW. The AEW is going to get it too. WWE is going to get it. New Japan going to get it. Everybody's going to get it. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I'm going to criticize it, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and my honest opinion about it. So that's the way it's going to be. So with that, guys, I'll leave you. Hopefully you guys can subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button, share it with your friends, tell everybody about the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, and I definitely will see you guys next week with a new episode on the news and stuff going on in pro wrestling. Until then, be good.